Your mind is your greatest weapon, and when you train it with focus and discipline, nothing can hold you back, because every victory begins with the thoughts you choose to believe. Most people go through life reacting to problems instead of preparing their mind to handle them. They get stressed, lose focus, and often give up too quickly. What they should do is learn how to build mental strength, sharpen focus, and approach challenges with clarity. Training your mind is not about avoiding struggle, it is about creating the right mindset to face it with confidence. When you train your mind, you stop being controlled by fear or doubt and start making choices that move you forward. You gain the power to stay calm, think clearly, and act with purpose in any situation. This is how you turn setbacks into lessons and obstacles into opportunities. If you're ready to train your mind to win in every situation, then let's dive in. Chapter 1. Train your mind to see every chance. Life has a way of presenting us with challenges that feel larger than we can carry. You know those mornings when you wake up and you already feel behind. Your energy is low, the problems on your desk look heavy, and your motivation feels lost. Many people look at those moments and see only what is missing. They see what is wrong, what is broken, and what is unfair. That is the starting point for most people. But the truth is, your mind has a choice. It can see obstacles or it can see chances. It can see endings or it can see beginnings. The difference is not in what is happening. The difference is in how you decide to see it. This is why training your mind is the most important work you will ever do. Because the way you see is the way you live. If you train your mind to see chances, you will always find a way to move forward. Every person experiences setbacks. Some lose a job, some fail at a business, some lose confidence in a relationship. When you stand in those moments, your mind begins to search for meaning. If your mind has been trained to see defeat, it will give you reasons to quit. If your mind has been trained to see chances, it will show you options you never thought of before. That is why two people can face the same problem and have completely different outcomes. One person says, "This is the end for me." The other person says, "This is my opportunity to grow stronger." The same storm, but a different mind. Your ability to direct your mind toward chances can become the most powerful tool you own. It will keep you hopeful when others give up. It will help you stay calm when others panic. It will allow you to see doors that are closed today but can be opened tomorrow. When you start seeing every chance, you stop waiting for perfect conditions. Many people waste years waiting for life to hand them something easy. They want the right timing, the right people, the right situation. But if you wait for perfection, you wait forever. Training your mind means learning to act with what you have right now. You begin to ask yourself, what is the smallest step I can take today? What is the next move I can make with the resources I have? When you think this way, you stop complaining about what is missing. You begin to work with what is available. You realize that progress does not come from waiting. Progress comes from moving. It comes from learning. It comes from searching for chances that most people ignore. Now let us talk about awareness. Most people do not even notice the chances around them because their minds are filled with distractions. They are focused on problems, gossip, fear, or the opinions of others. A distracted mind cannot see chances, but a trained mind develops awareness. It notices small details. It pays attention to opportunities that others walk past. It hears ideas that others dismiss. This is why awareness is so powerful. When your mind is awake, you see what others miss. You begin to connect events that look unrelated. You start to realize that what seems like a small moment can turn into a big change. That phone call, that meeting, that book, that conversation, each one has the potential to open a new road. But only if your mind is trained to notice. Another part of training your mind is discipline. It is easy to let negative thoughts take over. It is easy to say, "This is not fair, this is too hard, this is not for me." But when you live that way, you close the door to chances. Discipline means catching yourself when your mind begins to slip into doubt. Discipline means reminding yourself there is always a way if I look for it. There is always a chance, even if it is small. That thought alone can change the entire direction of your day. When you feed your mind discipline, you train it to return to focus. You train it to see not what is gone, but what is left. You train it to use your energy for building rather than for complaining. And over time, discipline becomes natural. Your mind begins to look for chances automatically. You become the kind of person who sees options in every situation. Think about the people you admire. They are not the ones who had everything handed to them. They are the ones who made something out of nothing. They trained their minds to find chances where others only saw limits. They learned how to take a small idea and turn it into a big result. They learned how to move forward when others froze. That is what makes them stand out. They did not escape problems. They trained their minds to see chances within problems. They did not escape failure. They trained their minds to see lessons within failure. They did not escape fear. They trained their minds to see growth within fear. That is the difference. That is the habit of winners. When you begin this journey, it is important to remind yourself daily. You cannot train your mind once and expect it to stay that way forever. Training your mind is like training your body. You must exercise it again and again. You must practice the habit of looking for chances. Each day you must challenge your own thinking. When a problem arrives, ask yourself, what chance is here for me? When a disappointment arrives, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? When a plan falls apart, ask yourself, what new path can I discover? These questions shape your mind. They build a pattern of resilience. They give your mind a new default setting. Soon you stop waiting for life to be easier. You start building strength to handle what comes. Let us not forget the role of emotions. A trained mind knows how to direct emotions rather than be controlled by them. Fear, anger, sadness, or stress will always appear, but your mind can choose what to do with them. When your emotions scream for you to quit, your trained mind can whisper, stay calm, look closer, there is a chance here. That voice will save you. That voice will guide you. That voice will remind you that your emotions are signals, not commands. You can feel fear and still move. You can feel stress and still think clearly. You can feel doubt and still search for chances. This is the power of a trained mind. It does not ignore emotions. It uses them to sharpen focus and awareness. Now let us talk about patience. A trained mind understands that chances are not always instant. Some chances take time to show results. Some chances test your commitment. Some chances demand sacrifice. Many people quit too early because they expect quick rewards. But patience allows you to see the bigger picture. Patience tells you that every step matters. Patience reminds you that time is your partner, not your enemy. When you combine patience with awareness, you become unstoppable. You see chances, you act on them, and you give them time to grow. You understand that success is not about speed. Success is about direction. You move steadily and you keep moving forward. You also need courage. Many chances are hidden behind fear. Fear tells you to stay safe, to avoid risk, to stay quiet. But courage tells you to try, to speak, to step forward. A trained mind knows that fear is not the end. Fear is simply the sign that growth is near. If you want to see chances, you must face fear. You must step into the unknown. You must risk being uncomfortable. The people who achieve the most are not fearless. They are courageous. They trained their minds to move through fear rather than run from it. Courage is the gateway to new chances. Courage is what gives life its color. Without courage, chances remain invisible. With courage, chances become clear. Finally, gratitude strengthens your ability to see chances. When you are grateful, your mind is open. Gratitude makes you notice what is already working in your life. It reminds you of the resources you already have. It helps you see that you are not starting from nothing. You already have skills, experiences, and connections. Gratitude keeps you from falling into the trap of only seeing what is missing. It makes you aware of what is present. And from that place, your mind can see more chances. You stop taking things for granted. You start appreciating small wins. And those small wins become the foundation for bigger wins. This is the start of your journey. Every day you are surrounded by chances. Some are small, some are big, some are visible, some are hidden. The question is not whether chances exist. The question is whether your mind is trained to see them. If you want to win in every situation, start here. Train your mind to see every chance. Once you do, you will begin to experience a new way of living. You will notice that nothing is wasted. You will realize that every moment has a gift. You will see that life is not about avoiding struggle. Life is about finding chances inside struggle. That is the work. That is the reward. That is how you begin to train your mind to win in every situation. Chapter 2. Focus on solutions, not problems, every single time. There comes a moment in every person's life when the weight of problems feels overwhelming. You sit at your desk, you stare at the bills, you look at your responsibilities, and it feels like they are stacking higher and higher. In those moments, it is natural to give all of your attention to the problems. You replay them in your mind. You speak about them with everyone you meet. You feel the pressure of them in your body. This habit is common, but it is also dangerous. Because what you focus on grows stronger. When you focus on problems, they expand. They take more of your energy. They drain your creativity. They blind you from the way forward. But when you focus on solutions, something powerful happens. Your mind begins to work for you rather than against you. Your body feels lighter. Your energy feels renewed. And most importantly, you begin to move forward. The truth is, problems never go away completely. You cannot live a life free of problems, but you can live a life where problems do not control you. The difference lies in focus. Some people become experts in describing their problems. They can tell you in detail what is wrong, who caused it, and how unfair it feels. But when you ask them about solutions, they fall silent. Others, however, refuse to let their problems define them. They train themselves to ask, what can I do next? How can I make this better? What is within my control today? And the moment they ask these questions, they unlock the door to progress. Because solutions only reveal themselves to people who search for them. When you give all of your attention to problems, your emotions take over. You feel anger, sadness, fear, or worry, and those feelings keep you stuck. But when you shift your focus to solutions, your emotions begin to settle. You begin to feel a sense of control. You start noticing that not everything is lost. You realize that there is always a step you can take. It may not solve everything at once, but it moves you forward. That feeling alone is powerful. It gives you momentum. It gives you strength. It gives you hope. And hope is what allows you to keep moving even when the road is not easy. Let us think about work for a moment. You might be in a job where deadlines are tight, mistakes happen, and people let you down. If you only talk about how difficult it is, nothing changes. If you only complain about your boss or your co-workers, nothing gets better. But if you ask yourself, what is one thing I can improve today, everything shifts. Maybe you can improve the way you organize your time. Maybe you can ask a clear question to avoid confusion. Maybe you can create a small system that prevents future mistakes. Each small solution adds up. Each small change makes the problem feel smaller. And each time you do this, your confidence grows. You start believing in your ability to handle whatever comes. The same is true in personal life. Maybe your finances are tight. If all you think about is how much you do not have, you create stress without progress. But if you ask, how can I save even a little today, you create movement. Maybe you can reduce one unnecessary expense. Maybe you can start a side project. Maybe you can learn a new skill that adds value. None of these are instant fixes, but they are solutions. And solutions build direction. They help you rise above the weight of the problem. They remind you that you are not powerless. They remind you that you still have options. One important truth is that problems love attention. The more you talk about them, the more they grow in your mind. It feels satisfying at first to share complaints with others. It feels like release. But soon you notice that the more you share, the heavier you feel. That is because you are feeding the problem with your focus. On the other hand, when you direct your words towards solutions, you create a different atmosphere. Your conversations become productive. You begin to inspire others rather than drain them. You give yourself a sense of action rather than despair. And when people see that you are focused on solutions, they often want to help. Because solutions attract support, while problems push people away. Now let us consider the role of creativity. Every solution is born from creativity. But creativity cannot grow in the soil of constant negativity. If you only stare at the problem, your mind cannot imagine alternatives. It becomes narrow. It becomes trapped. But when you turn towards solutions, your creativity wakes up. You begin to think of new approaches. You experiment. You test. You discover. Many times the best solutions are not obvious at first. They come from persistence. They come from trying and failing and trying again. That process becomes easier when your focus is on solutions, because every attempt becomes part of the path forward. Focusing on solutions also changes the way you see failure. Most people treat failure as the final stop. They say it did not work, so I must give up. But when you train your mind to focus on solutions, you see failure as feedback. You ask, what can I learn here? What adjustment can I make? What new approach can I try? Failure becomes part of progress rather than the end of progress. This mindset is the key to resilience. It gives you the ability to stand back up again and again. And over time, resilience becomes your greatest advantage. While others stop at the first obstacle, you continue searching. And because you continue searching, you eventually find answers that others never reach. Another important part of this practice is speed. Problems want to hold you in place for days or weeks. They want you to delay action. But the sooner you focus on solutions, the faster you move forward. You do not waste energy repeating the same complaints. You channel that energy into action. And action creates clarity. You often do not see the full solution until you begin moving. The first step leads to the second step, and the second step leads to the third. By focusing on solutions, you create a chain of progress. By staying stuck in problems, you create a cycle of delay. The choice is yours, and it begins with focus. Now let us talk about responsibility. When you focus on problems, you often blame others. You say, it is because of them, it is because of the system, it is because of luck. This may feel comforting, but it gives away your power. Responsibility returns your power to you. When you say, I will focus on solutions, you take ownership. You may not control everything, but you control your response. You control your next move. You control your effort. Responsibility is not about guilt. It is about freedom. It frees you from waiting for others to change. It frees you from being a victim of your situation. It places the power back into your hands. Another benefit of focusing on solutions is growth. Every time you work through a problem by finding solutions, you expand your skills. You become more resourceful. You learn how to think faster. You build confidence in your ability to adapt. This growth becomes part of you. No one can take it away. Each solution you discover strengthens your ability to handle bigger challenges. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. What once felt impossible becomes achievable. This is how growth happens, not in the absence of problems, but in the process of solving them. Consider how this applies to relationships. Conflicts are normal. Misunderstandings happen. If you only focus on the problem, you push people away. You bring up old mistakes again and again. But if you focus on solutions, you ask, how can we fix this? How can we communicate better? How can we create trust again? That mindset transforms relationships. It moves them from blame to cooperation. It replaces hostility with teamwork. And over time, it builds stronger connections. Because people do not expect perfection. They expect effort. They expect solutions. And when they see that from you, trust grows. Focusing on solutions also helps with health. If you only focus on what is wrong with your body, you feel hopeless. But if you focus on solutions, you ask, what small step can I take today? Can I walk a little more? Can I drink more water? Can I rest more? These small solutions create momentum. They give you energy. They give you progress. And soon you notice that your health improves not by worrying about problems, but by acting on solutions. This is the same principle applied in every part of life. The direction of your focus determines the direction of your results. Finally, let us speak about belief. When you focus on solutions, you build belief in yourself. You prove to yourself that you can handle life. You prove that you are not defeated by problems. You prove that you have the power to adapt and to improve. This belief is priceless. It stays with you in every situation. It gives you confidence in moments of uncertainty. It gives you courage in moments of fear. It gives you peace in moments of struggle, because you know that no matter what problem arrives, you will find a solution. And that belief makes you unshakable. It gives you the strength to keep moving forward every single time. Chapter 3. Build daily discipline to sharpen your inner strength. There are days when getting out of bed feels heavy. You wake up tired, you feel distracted, and your willpower seems weak. On those days, it feels easier to give in to comfort and avoid the work you know you should do. Every person faces these moments. It is not a lack of talent or potential. It is a lack of discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you can become. Without it, your goals remain wishes. With it, your goals become reality. Discipline is the daily practice of doing what you said you would do, even when you do not feel like it. It is not always exciting. It is not always easy. But it is always worth it. When you build daily discipline, you sharpen your inner strength. You become stronger inside, and that strength shows in every part of your life. The truth is, life does not reward intentions. It rewards actions. Many people intend to eat better, to exercise more, to learn new skills, to improve their finances. But intention without discipline leads to nothing. Discipline is the force that transforms ideas into results. It is what makes you get up earlier. It is what makes you complete tasks on time. It is what makes you stay focused while others drift. And every time you practice discipline, you strengthen your ability to control yourself. Self-control is the greatest form of power you can develop. When you control yourself, you do not need to control everything else. You stay steady in the face of challenges. You keep moving when others quit. That is the strength discipline gives you. Discipline begins in small choices. It begins in the decision to say no to what pulls you away and yes to what brings you closer. It begins when you put down the phone and pick up the book. It begins when you leave the couch and take that walk. It begins when you stop making excuses and take responsibility. These moments may look small, but they are not. They are the building blocks of your inner strength. Each small act of discipline adds weight to your character. Each one says to your mind and body, I am in control. Each one sharpens your ability to act with purpose rather than impulse. And as the days add up, discipline becomes who you are. Many people think discipline means restriction or punishment. They think it takes away freedom. The truth is the opposite. Discipline creates freedom. Without discipline, you are a prisoner of your moods and habits. If you only act when you feel like it, you remain stuck. But with discipline, you are free. You are free from excuses. You are free from laziness. You are free from regret, because discipline builds consistency. And consistency is what makes progress steady and reliable. The people you admire are not more gifted than you. They are more disciplined than you. They chose the hard path daily until it became natural. They did not rely on luck. They relied on discipline. Let us talk about mornings. The way you start your day shapes everything that follows. A disciplined morning builds a disciplined life. If you wake up late, rush, and waste your first hours, the rest of your day feels scattered. But if you wake up on time, move your body, eat with intention, and prepare your mind, the rest of your day feels powerful. This is why many successful people guard their mornings with discipline. They understand that winning the first hour helps win the whole day. You may not control everything that happens later, but you can control how you start. And that control strengthens you. It gives you confidence before the world tests you. Discipline also sharpens focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Your phone, your notifications, your environment all pull at your attention. Without discipline, you spend your hours reacting instead of creating. You spend your energy scrolling instead of building. But when you train discipline, you control your focus. You decide what matters most, and you direct your energy there. You protect your time. You complete what you start. This is how discipline creates results. It teaches you to ignore the noise and listen to your goals. It teaches you to protect your future from the comfort of the present. Now consider health. Without discipline, your body pays the price. You eat what is easy instead of what is right. You sit when you should move. You sleep late and wake up tired. Over time, the lack of discipline shows in your energy, your confidence, and your ability to perform. But with discipline, you take charge. You choose food that fuels you. You keep your body active. You respect your rest. These actions build a body that supports your dreams instead of slowing them down. You do not need perfection. You need consistency. Small acts of daily discipline create long-term strength. Your body becomes a reflection of the choices you make daily. Discipline also applies to learning. The mind is like a muscle. It grows when you use it. But many people stop learning after school. They stop reading, they stop studying, they stop practicing. Without discipline, knowledge fades and opportunities are missed. With discipline, you keep growing. You read daily. You take notes. You ask questions. You reflect. And over time, you become wiser, sharper, more capable. The disciplined learner always rises above the crowd. Because while others wait for answers, the disciplined learner creates answers. Discipline keeps your mind active and sharp. It keeps you ready for chances when they appear. Relationships also need discipline. Love, respect, and trust are not built on feelings alone. They are built on daily actions. Without discipline, you forget to listen. You speak without thinking. You break promises. You let pride control you. But with discipline, you choose patience. You choose honesty. You choose kindness. You remember to follow through. Discipline in relationships means doing what is right even when it is not easy. It means staying committed even when it requires effort. It means valuing actions over excuses. And that discipline strengthens bonds. It creates trust that lasts through challenges. Discipline is also about how you use time. Time is the most valuable resource you have. Once lost, it never returns. Without discipline, time slips away. Hours are wasted on meaningless tasks. Days pass without progress. But with discipline, time becomes your ally. You plan. You prioritize. You make each day count. You realize that one focused hour is more valuable than 10 distracted hours. You understand that time is life itself, and the way you use it determines the quality of your life. Discipline teaches you to respect time, to use it with purpose, and to create value from it. Another part of discipline is sacrifice. Every achievement requires giving up something. You may need to give up comfort for growth. You may need to give up short-term pleasure for long-term gain. You may need to give up certain habits to create better ones. Sacrifice is not loss. Sacrifice is investment. When you give up what holds you back, you gain what moves you forward. Discipline makes sacrifice easier because it shows you the bigger picture. It reminds you that every choice today shapes tomorrow. It reminds you that the pain of discipline is smaller than the pain of regret. Let us also remember that discipline is not built overnight. It is built day by day. It is built in the small wins you create daily. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your discipline grows. Every time you push through discomfort, your discipline grows. Every time you stay consistent, your discipline grows. And over time, those small acts become habits. Those habits become your character. And your character becomes your destiny. This is the true power of discipline. It transforms you from the inside out. It builds strength that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Finally, discipline requires self-respect. When you live with discipline, you prove to yourself that your goals matter. You prove that your word to yourself is unbreakable. You prove that you are worthy of success. Without discipline, you break promises to yourself. You let yourself down again and again, and each time your confidence weakens. But with discipline, you build trust with yourself. You know that when you set a goal, you will follow through. That trust creates deep confidence. It creates peace. It creates power. And that is why daily discipline is the foundation of inner strength. It sharpens your character. It protects your dreams. It gives you the strength to rise in every situation. Chapter 4. Speak powerful words that shape your winning attitude. Every day you talk to yourself more than you talk to anyone else. You have conversations in your head from the moment you wake up until the moment you fall asleep. Some of those words lift you up, and some of those words tear you down. Most people do not even notice the words they speak to themselves. They do not realize how powerful those words are. Words shape the way you think, and the way you think shapes the way you act. If your words are weak, your attitude becomes weak. If your words are powerful, your attitude becomes powerful. And attitude is the key that decides how far you will go in life. If you want to train your mind to win, you must first train your words. Think about the mornings when you wake up and say to yourself, I am tired, I am not ready, I cannot handle this. Those words immediately affect your energy. You move slower. You feel heavier. Your mind expects failure. On the other hand, think about mornings when you wake up and say, I am ready, I am strong, I will handle this day. Those words change your state instantly. You feel more alert. You move with purpose. Your mind looks for chances. The day has not changed, but your words have changed how you see it. That is the influence of words. They are not empty sounds. They are instructions to your mind and body. Your words also influence the way other people see you. If you constantly speak about problems, people begin to see you as negative. If you constantly complain, people distance themselves. But if you speak words of confidence, people listen. If you speak words of encouragement, people respect you. Your words become part of your character in the eyes of others. They can open doors or they can close them. They can build relationships or they can destroy them. And once spoken, words cannot be taken back. That is why it is important to use them with care. A winning attitude starts with powerful words that you repeat every single day. The most dangerous words are the ones you say about yourself. If you say, I am not good enough, your mind will look for proof. If you say, I never get lucky, your mind will block out opportunities. If you say, I will fail again, your mind will prepare for defeat. These words become self-fulfilling. They limit you before you even start. But if you choose to say, I am capable, your mind will search for solutions. If you say, I deserve success, your mind will spot opportunities. If you say, I can learn, your mind will guide you to growth. The words you repeat most often become the beliefs you live with, and those beliefs create the life you experience. To build a winning attitude, you must create a habit of speaking words that are clear, strong, and positive. Start by paying attention to your daily language. Notice when you say words like always, never, impossible, or hopeless. Replace them with words like sometimes, possible, learning, and progress. This small shift changes the tone of your inner world. It keeps your attitude flexible and open. Instead of saying, I failed, you say, I learned. Instead of saying, I cannot do this, you say, I will figure it out. Instead of saying, this is too hard, you say, this is a challenge I can handle. These words direct your mind towards strength rather than weakness. Another important practice is to speak affirmations aloud. When you hear your own voice saying strong words, it becomes more real. Say to yourself each morning, I am disciplined. I am focused. I am getting stronger each day. Say, I can handle challenges. I can learn from mistakes. I can create progress. At first it may feel uncomfortable, but repetition creates truth in the mind. The more you say it, the more you believe it. And the more you believe it, the more your actions align with it. Your words become a script that your life begins to follow. And every day you repeat powerful words, you reinforce the winning attitude inside you. Powerful words also shape how you handle setbacks. When something goes wrong, many people say, I knew this would happen, or nothing ever works for me. These words add weight to the problem. They create more pain than the situation itself. But a winning attitude uses different words. When setbacks come, you say, this is temporary. You say, I will find another way. You say, this is teaching me something valuable. These words do not deny the problem. They give you strength to move through it. They remind you that the problem does not define you. They remind you that you have the power to rise again. Your words should also match the standards you want to live by. If you want to be a leader, speak with clarity and confidence. If you want to be trusted, speak with honesty and consistency. If you want to be respected, speak with kindness and fairness. Words are not just sounds. They are signals. They tell people what you value. They tell people how serious you are. They tell people what they can expect from you. And when your words match your actions, your attitude becomes unshakable. People know you mean what you say. And that trust gives your words even more power. The way you speak about the future is also important. Some people talk about the future with fear. They say times are getting worse, opportunities are shrinking, nothing good is ahead. Those words create a dark view of tomorrow. Others talk about the future with hope. They say, new chances are coming, better days are possible, growth is ahead. These words create energy and optimism. The future has not arrived yet, but the words you use today shape how you prepare for it. If you speak with hope, you train your mind to expect chances. If you speak with fear, you train your mind to miss them. Your future begins in your words long before it becomes real. It is also important to speak powerful words to others. People around you carry hidden struggles. A few strong words can lift their spirit. Saying, I believe in you, can give someone courage. Saying, you can handle this, can give someone strength. Saying, I appreciate you, can make someone feel valued. These words cost you nothing, but they create impact. They build connections. They create trust. And when you give powerful words to others, you receive them back. Because people remember how your words made them feel. They remember the encouragement. They remember the respect. And that creates a circle of positive energy in your life. Discipline is needed in how you use your words. It is easy to speak without thinking. It is easy to complain, criticize, or argue. But discipline teaches you to pause. Discipline teaches you to choose words that build rather than break. Discipline teaches you to use words that create rather than destroy. Over time, this practice becomes natural. Your words begin to carry weight. People listen when you speak because they know your words are not wasted. And when your words carry weight, your attitude grows even stronger. Because the way you speak reinforces the way you live. Even your tone and delivery matter. You can say the same words with doubt or with conviction, and they will have different impact. Speak with energy. Speak with confidence. Speak with belief in what you are saying. When your voice carries conviction, your words influence not only others, but also yourself. You begin to believe more deeply. You begin to feel stronger. You begin to act with greater purpose. Your tone is part of your power. And when combined with the right words, it builds a winning attitude that others can see and feel. Finally, remember that silence can also be powerful. Sometimes the most powerful choice is to hold back negative words. Sometimes strength is in choosing not to speak when you're angry. Sometimes it is in listening rather than filling the air. Silence used with discipline adds value to your words when you do speak. People listen more carefully. Your words land with more force, and you stay in control of your attitude. Because silence is not weakness. It is a form of strength. It shows you are aware of the impact of your words and you respect their power. When you decide to speak powerful words every day, you give shape to your attitude. You give direction to your thoughts. You give energy to your actions. You give hope to your future. Words are tools, and the way you use them decides whether you win or lose. Speak words that lift you. Speak words that guide you. Speak words that remind you of your strength. Because when your words are powerful, your attitude becomes unstoppable. And when your attitude is unstoppable, you begin to win in every situation. Chapter 5. Control your thoughts before they control your actions. Every person knows the experience of being carried away by their own thoughts. You wake up and suddenly your mind is full of worry. You think about the bills you need to pay, the deadlines you have to meet, the mistakes you made in the past, and the doubts about the future. Your body feels heavy and your mood shifts even before the day begins. Most of the time, it is not the situation itself that holds you back. It is the way you think about it. Your thoughts have the power to lift you or crush you. And if you do not take control of them, they will take control of you. They will guide your actions in directions you never wanted to go. But when you learn to master your thoughts, you master your life. Because every action starts with a thought. Think about the times when you have spoken words you regret. They did not come from nowhere. They came from thoughts you allowed to build inside your mind. Anger started with a thought. Jealousy started with a thought. Fear started with a thought. And when those thoughts grew strong enough, they turned into action. The same is true for positive actions. Kindness begins with a thought. Confidence begins with a thought. Growth begins with a thought. This shows us how powerful the mind is. It is the first stage of everything you do. And the question is, are you controlling your thoughts, or are your thoughts controlling you? Many people live with no awareness of what they think. They let every idea, every fear, and every doubt run freely in their mind. And soon, those thoughts create habits. They shape the way a person speaks, the way they work, and the way they see themselves. This is why you must take responsibility for your thinking. You must guard it carefully. You must notice when negative thoughts try to take over and replace them with thoughts that serve you. This is not easy at first, because negative thinking is often automatic. But with practice, you can catch it. You can interrupt it. You can redirect it. And that is when your life begins to change. Your thoughts create emotions, and emotions drive actions. If you think thoughts of failure, you feel weak. If you think thoughts of rejection, you feel afraid. If you think thoughts of comparison, you feel insecure. And when you feel this way, your actions reflect it. You hesitate. You avoid chances. You hold back your best effort. But if you think thoughts of possibility, you feel hopeful. If you think thoughts of strength, you feel confident. If you think thoughts of growth, you feel determined. And when you feel this way, your actions reflect it. You move forward. You take chances. You show up with your full energy. Everything begins with the thoughts you choose to allow. Controlling your thoughts does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing how you interpret reality. Two people can face the same situation and see it in completely different ways. One person thinks, "This is the end. I cannot handle this." The other thinks, "This is tough, but I will find a way." Same situation, but different thoughts. And those different thoughts create different actions. The first person gives up. The second person tries again. The first person feels defeated. The second person feels challenged. The difference is not in the problem. The difference is in the mind. That is why your first responsibility each day is to direct your thoughts in the right direction. One powerful practice is awareness. Most people let their thoughts run on autopilot. They do not notice when they are thinking negatively. But if you stop for a moment and pay attention, you will see patterns. You will notice that certain situations trigger the same thoughts again and again. Maybe when you fail, you immediately think, I am not good enough. Maybe when you see someone succeed, you think, I will never reach that level. These are patterns. And once you see them, you can break them. You can say, that thought is not serving me. You can replace it with, I am learning, I am capable, I am improving. Awareness is the first step to control. Without it, your thoughts control you. With it, you control your thoughts. Another practice is feeding your mind. Your mind is like a garden. What you plant in it will grow. If you fill your mind with negative content, toxic conversations, and destructive self-talk, your thoughts will reflect that. But if you fill your mind with learning, encouragement, and positive words, your thoughts will reflect that too. Every book you read, every video you watch, every person you listen to is feeding your mind. And what you feed it determines how strong your thoughts become. If you want powerful action, start with powerful thoughts. And if you want powerful thoughts, start with powerful input. Let us also talk about focus. Your thoughts follow your focus. If you focus on problems, your thoughts grow negative. If you focus on solutions, your thoughts grow productive. If you focus on fear, your thoughts grow limiting. If you focus on chances, your thoughts grow expansive. You cannot stop thoughts from coming, but you can choose where to direct your focus. And when you guide your focus, you guide your thoughts. This practice creates clarity. It reduces noise. It helps you make decisions based on strength rather than weakness. Focus is not just about attention. It is about control. It is the tool that helps you direct your mind toward winning actions. You also need discipline with your inner voice. That quiet voice inside you is always speaking. Sometimes it whispers doubts. Sometimes it whispers encouragement. The key is to notice which voice you are allowing to grow louder. When your inner voice says, you cannot do it, answer with, I will try. When it says, you are not ready, answer with, I will prepare. When it says, you should give up, answer with, I will keep moving. Talking back to your thoughts may feel strange, but it is powerful. It shows your mind that you are in charge. It shows your thoughts that you decide which ones to follow. And with practice, the strong voice becomes louder than the weak one. Your thoughts also create habits. If you constantly think about excuses, your actions become excuses. If you constantly think about progress, your actions become progress. The connection is direct. This is why you must protect the space in your mind. Do not allow it to be filled with constant fear. Do not allow it to be filled with endless doubts. Protect it like your most valuable resource. Because it is. The way you think today shapes the way you act tomorrow. And the way you act tomorrow shapes the life you live years from now. Control begins now, not later, not someday. Now. Stress is another area where thoughts control actions. When you think, I cannot handle this, your body reacts. Your heart beats faster. Your breathing grows shallow. Your muscles tighten. The thought created the reaction. But if you change the thought to, I will take this one step at a time, your body relaxes. You breathe deeper. You feel calmer. You move forward with clarity. The stress did not disappear, but your thoughts changed your response. This is how much influence they have. Your body follows your mind, and if you want your body to move with strength, your mind must think with strength. Another important skill is visualization. When you picture yourself succeeding, your mind begins to accept it as possible. You create mental rehearsals that prepare your actions. Athletes use this to perform better. Leaders use this to make decisions with confidence. You can use this in any area of life. If you have an important meeting, visualize yourself speaking clearly. If you have a challenge ahead, visualize yourself overcoming it. The thoughts you create through visualization prepare your actions. They make success feel familiar before it even happens. And that familiarity gives you confidence when the moment arrives. Doubt is one of the strongest thoughts that can control you if left unchecked. It tells you that you are not ready, that you will fail, that others are better. If you allow it to grow, it stops you from taking action. But doubt loses its power when faced with preparation. When you prepare, your thoughts shift. You no longer think, I am not ready. You think, I have practiced. You no longer think, I will fail. You think, I know how to handle this. Preparation transforms doubtful thoughts into confident actions. This is why preparation is a form of thought control. It gives your mind proof that you are capable. And when your mind believes it, your actions follow. Patience is also part of controlling your thoughts. Impatience tells you, I need results now. It makes you act in desperation. It makes you quit too early. But patience tells you progress takes time. Patience reminds you that small steps add up. Patience calms your thoughts so you can stay consistent. When you master patience, your actions become steady. You stop chasing shortcuts. You stop sabotaging yourself. You keep building. And because you keep building, you eventually reach the result. Patience is not weakness. It is strength. It is the thought that allows you to stay in the game until you win. Finally, remember that controlling your thoughts is a daily practice. You cannot do it once and be done. Each day, new challenges will appear. Each day, new thoughts will rise. Some will try to pull you back. Others will push you forward. Your job is to notice them, choose wisely, and direct them with intention. This is how you create the actions that lead to winning. It is not luck. It is not chance. It is thought control. When you take charge of your thoughts, you take charge of your actions. And when you take charge of your actions, you take charge of your destiny. Chapter 6. Turn every setback into energy for your comeback. There are moments in life when everything feels like it is falling apart. You try your best, and things still go wrong. You plan carefully, and yet you face failure. You give effort, and you are still rejected or ignored. These moments hurt deeply. You feel heavy in your chest, and your thoughts turn dark. You wonder if it is even worth trying again. Every person has faced these moments, no matter how strong or successful they seem. The truth is, setbacks are not signs that you are weak. They are part of the process of becoming strong. What matters is how you respond. You can let setbacks drain your energy, or you can let them build your energy. You can let them break you, or you can let them prepare you for your comeback. When people face setbacks, many fall into blame. They blame the system, the people around them, or the timing. Blame might feel satisfying for a short moment, but it does not give you power. It leaves you stuck. Others fall into despair. They tell themselves, I am not good enough, I will never succeed, I should stop trying. That thinking is dangerous because it feeds weakness instead of strength. But a different kind of person makes a different choice. They look at the setback and say, this is fuel. They say, this is teaching me something. They say, this will give me more drive. That mindset is rare, but it is what separates those who rise again from those who stay down. Setbacks can teach you what success cannot. When everything goes well, you enjoy the rewards, but you do not always learn the lessons. When things fall apart, you are forced to look deeper. You see your mistakes clearly. You discover your limits. You notice habits that were hidden, and those lessons become the very tools you need for your next attempt. If you look closely, you will see that every strong person you admire has a history of setbacks. They failed before they succeeded. They stumbled before they stood tall. They turned those moments into energy, and that energy fueled their comeback. Without the setback, the comeback would not have been possible. The pain of a setback is real. You cannot ignore it. You feel it in your mind, in your emotions, and even in your body. The key is not to run from the pain, but to use it. Let the disappointment remind you how much it matters to you. Let the frustration push you to prepare better. Let the failure push you to sharpen your skills. Pain can destroy you or pain can drive you. The choice is yours. If you use the energy of pain, you will rise stronger than before. If you let the pain control you, you will stay where you are. This is the critical turning point that defines winners. They use pain as a teacher. They use setbacks as fuel. One way to turn setbacks into energy is to reflect with honesty. After a failure, do not only say, "This is unfair." Ask yourself, what part did I play in this? What could I have done differently? What skill do I need to develop? What blind spot did I miss? Honest reflection is not about punishing yourself. It is about preparing yourself. When you take responsibility, you take back control. You realize that you can make changes. You can build new habits. You can improve your approach. That realization gives you energy. It tells you that you are not stuck forever. You are simply being prepared for your comeback. Another way to turn setbacks into energy is to stay persistent. Many people quit after 1 or 2 failures. They tell themselves that it is not meant for them. But persistence is what creates breakthroughs. Each setback is not a wall but a test. It asks, how badly do you want this? If you keep going, you gather strength each time. Your skills improve. Your understanding deepens. Your mind grows sharper. And soon, what once looked impossible begins to look possible. Persistence transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Each one takes you closer to your goal, even when you cannot see it at the time. Your attitude toward setbacks also matters. If you see them as permanent, you will stay defeated. If you see them as temporary, you will stay motivated. Say to yourself, this is only for now. Say, I will rise again. Say, my best days are ahead. These words create energy. They remind you that setbacks are part of the journey, not the end of the journey. When you believe this, your actions reflect it. You begin to try again with new energy. You stop fearing failure because you know it cannot stop you. You know it can only shape you. And that belief makes you unstoppable. Setbacks can also give you empathy. When you struggle, you understand the struggles of others better. You listen more. You encourage more. You respect the effort people make. This empathy strengthens your relationships. It makes you a leader who inspires, not just commands. It makes you a friend who supports, not just expects. And in return, it builds a network of people who want to see you rise again. Your comeback is never only about you. It affects everyone around you. When you rise, you show others that they can rise too. Your story becomes their motivation. Setbacks also build resilience. Resilience is the ability to bend without breaking. It is the ability to recover quickly. You cannot build resilience in comfort. You build it in struggle. Every time you face a setback and keep moving, your resilience grows. Your mind learns that you can survive pain. Your heart learns that you can recover from loss. Your spirit learns that you can keep going. That resilience becomes your greatest strength. It makes you calm under pressure. It makes you patient in progress. It makes you tough in trials. And that toughness fuels your comeback. Let us also talk about creativity. Setbacks force you to think in new ways. When your first plan fails, you are pushed to create another. When your strategy falls apart, you are forced to invent a new one. This is how innovation happens. Many great ideas were born after failure. Many breakthroughs came after rejection. When one door closed, another was built. Setbacks push your mind to find new paths. They wake up your creativity. They show you possibilities you never considered before. If you embrace this, setbacks can become the very source of your most creative energy. Courage is also shaped by setbacks. It takes courage to try again after failing. It takes courage to stand up after being knocked down. It takes courage to face the same challenge that hurt you before. But each time you do it, your courage grows. And with greater courage comes greater energy. You no longer hide from challenges. You face them. You no longer fear failure. You respect it as part of growth. That courage gives you freedom. Freedom to attempt bigger goals. Freedom to explore new ideas. Freedom to step into uncertainty with strength. Setbacks create courage, and courage fuels comebacks. Another truth is that setbacks keep you humble. When success comes too easily, pride can blind you. You think you know everything. You think you cannot fail. But setbacks remind you that there is always more to learn. They remind you that you need preparation. They remind you that growth never ends. This humility protects you from arrogance. It keeps you teachable. It keeps you willing to listen. It keeps you grounded. And humility combined with ambition is a powerful force. It allows you to rise high without losing perspective. It allows you to win without forgetting the lessons of the struggle. Setbacks also give you clarity. Sometimes failure is the universe telling you to adjust your direction. Sometimes rejection is protection from something not meant for you. When you look back, you often see that a setback was guiding you towards something better. But in the moment, you need patience to see it. Instead of saying, "This is the end," say, "This is redirection." Instead of saying, "I lost everything," say, "I am making space for something new." This shift in thinking gives you peace. It allows you to see setbacks not as punishment but as guidance. And that clarity becomes energy. It keeps you moving with trust that your efforts will lead somewhere meaningful. Energy for your comeback also comes from gratitude. Gratitude may sound strange in the middle of failure, but it works. When you are thankful for the lessons, the support, and even the struggle, your mindset changes. Gratitude turns bitterness into strength. It turns frustration into patience. It turns loss into perspective. It reminds you of what is still good, even when some things are bad. And when you focus on what is good, you feel stronger. You feel motivated. You feel energized. Gratitude is not about ignoring setbacks. It is about using them as reminders of your ability to keep going. Finally, remember that comebacks are not built in one giant step. They are built in small steps, fueled by the energy of setbacks. Each day you show up again, you gather strength. Each time you take one more action, you build momentum. Each time you choose persistence over quitting, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you thought. And that proof becomes your energy. It becomes your fire. It becomes the power that pushes you forward. Setbacks are not the end of the road. They are the fuel for your comeback. They are the energy that reminds you that you are not done yet. They are the signal that your greatest chapter is still ahead. Chapter 7. Stay calm under pressure and think with clarity. There will always be times when life tests you with pressure. You may face deadlines at work, financial struggles at home, or decisions that carry heavy consequences. In those moments, your heart beats faster, your hands sweat, and your thoughts race. Pressure makes even simple things feel complicated. Many people collapse under that weight. They panic, they freeze, or they make reckless choices they regret later. But some people remain calm. They think with clarity when everything around them feels chaotic. They act with control while others lose control. This ability is not natural luck. It is a skill that can be learned and strengthened. Staying calm under pressure is one of the greatest strengths you can develop because it allows you to think clearly and act wisely when it matters most. The mind under pressure often exaggerates problems. A small issue suddenly feels massive. A delay feels like a disaster. A mistake feels permanent. Pressure feeds fear, and fear clouds judgment. This is why calmness is so powerful. Calmness reduces fear. Calmness slows down the racing thoughts. Calmness allows you to see the situation for what it truly is, not for what your fear tells you it is. When you are calm, you notice details you would otherwise miss. You see solutions you could not see when panicked. You give yourself time to choose wisely. Calmness is not weakness. It is strength under control. It is your ability to keep your balance when life tries to push you off center. Learning to stay calm begins with awareness of your body. Pressure creates physical reactions. Your breathing shortens. Your muscles tighten. Your chest feels heavy. If you do not notice these signals, they control you. But if you notice them, you can interrupt them. Slow your breathing. Relax your shoulders. Ground your feet firmly. These small actions send signals back to your mind that you are safe. And when your body calms, your mind calms. Many people try to solve problems while their body is still in panic mode. That never works. First calm the body, then let the mind think. This practice can be the difference between reckless action and smart action. Pressure also brings strong emotions. Anger, fear, frustration, or doubt can take over. If you let emotions drive your choices, you may damage relationships, lose opportunities, or create bigger problems. But if you learn to pause, you take back control. You can say to yourself, I will not react yet. I will give myself a moment. That moment is powerful. It gives emotions time to cool down. It gives logic time to rise. It gives you space to choose the right response instead of the easy response. The strongest people are not the ones without emotions. They are the ones who can feel emotions without being ruled by them. They use emotions as information, not as commands. Clarity under pressure comes from focus. Pressure tries to scatter your attention in many directions. Your mind jumps from one thought to another. You start thinking about worst-case scenarios. You replay past mistakes. You imagine future disasters. This mental noise makes it hard to act with clarity. The key is to return to focus. Ask yourself, what is the most important thing I can do right now? Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Focus turns chaos into order. It gives your mind a single task to direct energy toward. And when you complete that task, you feel momentum. You begin to build control step by step. Clarity is born from focus. Preparation is another way to stay calm under pressure. Many people panic because they feel unprepared. They enter situations without practice, without knowledge, without strategy. Preparation builds confidence. When you know you have done the work, your mind stays calmer. You do not fear the unknown as much. You trust your skills. You trust your preparation. This is why the best performers in any field rehearse again and again. They want their mind and body to be ready under pressure. When the moment arrives, they do not rely on luck. They rely on preparation. And preparation creates calmness. It creates clarity because you know you are ready. It is also important to manage your inner voice during pressure. When things get hard, your inner voice may say, I cannot handle this, I will fail, this is too much. If you believe those thoughts, your body follows. You freeze or give up. But if you direct your inner voice to say, I can handle this, I will take it step by step, I will find a way, your body follows that too. Your voice can either add pressure or reduce it. The choice is yours. Train your inner voice to be encouraging, steady, and clear. Repeat words that remind you of your strength. Speak in a calm tone even inside your own mind. That voice becomes your anchor when everything around you feels unstable. Another part of clarity under pressure is perspective. Pressure makes you believe that the situation is bigger than it is. But perspective helps you see the bigger picture. Ask yourself, will this matter 1 year from now? Ask what is truly at risk here. Ask what is within my control and what is not. These questions reduce the weight of the problem. They remind you that not every battle is permanent. They remind you that your energy is best spent on what you can control. Perspective shrinks the problem to its true size. And when the problem feels smaller, your mind feels clearer. Clarity comes from perspective. Decision-making under pressure can be dangerous if rushed. Many people want relief from stress, so they act too quickly. They choose without thinking. They say yes when they should say no. They give up when they should hold on. Rushed decisions often create bigger problems. The calm mind does the opposite. It slows down enough to think. It asks the right questions. It weighs the options. It checks for consequences. It does not delay forever, but it does not rush blindly. Calmness allows you to decide with clarity. And a clear decision is far more powerful than a fast one. Another way to stay calm is to train your resilience daily. Small challenges prepare you for bigger ones. Each time you practice patience in traffic, you train calmness. Each time you handle a small conflict without anger, you train calmness. Each time you push through minor stress with focus, you train calmness. These daily practices add up. They prepare your mind for bigger pressures. Then when life brings major challenges, you are ready. You have already practiced calmness in smaller battles. It is part of your character. You do not panic easily. You do not lose clarity quickly. You stay steady because you have trained for it. Support also plays a role in staying calm. Pressure feels heavier when you carry it alone. Talking to someone you trust can lighten the weight. Sharing your thoughts can bring clarity. Others may see solutions you missed. They may remind you of your strengths. They may encourage you to keep going. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Calmness does not mean isolation. It means using every resource available to you. A calm leader builds calm teams. A calm friend brings calm energy to others. Surround yourself with people who think clearly under pressure. Their influence will strengthen your own ability to do the same. Another practice is rest. Pressure feels worse when you are tired. Lack of sleep makes emotions stronger and thinking weaker. Exhaustion makes small problems feel massive. If you want calmness, protect your rest. Sleep well. Take breaks. Recharge your energy. A tired mind cannot think clearly. A rested mind can handle pressure with strength. Rest is not weakness. It is preparation. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you steady. It gives you clarity. Many people collapse under pressure not because the problem is too big, but because their energy is too low. Protect your rest, and your calmness will grow stronger. Staying calm also requires acceptance. Some things are outside your control. Fighting them endlessly only increases stress. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means saving your energy for what you can change. It means focusing your clarity on what matters. When you accept what you cannot control, you feel lighter. Your mind stops wasting energy. You direct your thoughts towards solutions instead of struggles, and this makes your actions stronger. Acceptance gives you freedom. It frees your mind to think clearly. It frees your energy to move forward. Confidence is another benefit of staying calm. When you remain steady under pressure, people notice. They trust you more. They respect your judgment. They follow your lead. Calmness builds your reputation as someone reliable. It shows that you can handle responsibility. It proves that you are not shaken easily. This confidence is not just for others. It is also for yourself. Each time you stay calm under pressure, you prove to yourself that you are capable. You build trust in your own strength, and that trust becomes clarity in future challenges. Finally, remember that calmness is a daily choice. It is not something you wait to feel. It is something you decide to practice. Each time you face pressure, you have two options. You can let it control you, or you can control yourself. You can panic, or you can pause. You can rush, or you can think clearly. That choice determines the outcome. And the more often you choose calmness, the stronger it becomes. Over time, you become the person who is steady when others are shaken. You become the person who thinks with clarity when others are lost. And that strength will carry you through every pressure life places before you. Chapter 8. Choose courage over fear in every tough situation. Fear is something every human being knows too well. It shows up before you speak in front of people. It shows up when you think of starting something new. It shows up when you fail and wonder if you should try again. Fear is part of life. It is that heavy feeling in your chest, the doubt in your mind, and the voice that whispers you are not ready. Fear tries to shrink your life. It tries to make you play small. It tries to convince you to avoid challenges. But there is something stronger than fear. That something is courage. Courage does not mean you feel no fear. Courage means you feel fear and still move forward. Courage means you choose to act even when you are unsure. It means you trust yourself to grow stronger through the experience. If you want to win in life, you must learn to choose courage over fear in every tough situation. Fear is natural, but it is also deceptive. It makes problems look bigger than they are. It makes risks look more dangerous than they are. It makes you focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go right. When fear is in control, you hesitate. You stay quiet when you should speak. You stay still when you should move. You walk away when you should stay. But the truth is that most fears are not as dangerous as they feel. Most fears are mental walls built by imagination. Once you walk through them, you see that they were smaller than they appeared. That moment is where courage begins. It begins when you question fear. It begins when you ask yourself, what if I try? What if I can? What if this works? Courage is not about being reckless. It is about being determined. Courage does not ignore risk. It acknowledges risk but decides the reward is worth it. Courage is the voice that says, I know this is hard, but I will try anyway. Courage is the decision to step forward while fear is trying to pull you back. And once you choose courage, something amazing happens. Your confidence grows. Your energy rises. Your actions create momentum. And that momentum weakens fear. Fear feeds on hesitation. Courage feeds on action. The moment you take action, fear begins to lose power. And the more you practice courage, the easier it becomes to face tough situations. Every great achievement in history was born from courage. People who built businesses, people who created art, people who stood for change all faced fear. They doubted themselves. They worried about failure. They knew the risks. But they chose courage anyway. They chose to act despite fear. And because they did, they achieved things that looked impossible. The same principle applies to you. You do not need to remove fear from your life. You need to train yourself to act with courage when fear shows up. That is how you expand your life. That is how you discover your true strength. Courage begins with small choices. You do not need to face the biggest fear on the first day. Start with something simple. Speak up in a meeting when you would normally stay silent. Try a new skill when you feel uncertain. Share your idea even if you fear rejection. Each time you act with courage, you build a layer of strength. Those layers add up. Soon, you notice that fear still appears, but it no longer stops you. You have built the habit of choosing courage. And habits create character. Over time, you become the kind of person who acts with courage as a natural response. That is the foundation of a winning life. Fear often comes from the mind imagining the worst outcome. It plays a movie of failure, embarrassment, or loss. But courage focuses on the possible outcome of growth, learning, and success. When you shift your attention from worst case to best case, courage grows. Ask yourself, what is the best thing that could happen if I try? Ask, what will I gain even if I fail? Ask, what will I regret if I let fear stop me? These questions change your perspective. They remind you that every tough situation is an opportunity. Fear tells you to avoid it. Courage tells you to use it. The choice of focus decides your actions. Another source of courage is preparation. Many people feel fear because they feel unprepared. They doubt their skills or their knowledge. But preparation reduces fear. The more you practice, the more confident you become. The more you study, the more ready you feel. Courage does not ignore preparation. It embraces it. Preparation turns fear into fuel. It reminds you that you are capable. It reminds you that you are ready. And with preparation, your courage has a solid foundation. You no longer step into challenges blindly. You step in with skill and confidence. Fear also grows stronger when you think too far ahead. You imagine everything that could go wrong in the future. But courage brings you back to the present. Courage says, I only need to take the next step. I do not need to know every answer yet. I do not need to solve everything at once. I just need to move forward right now. That focus on the present makes fear smaller. It breaks down big challenges into manageable steps. And with each step, courage grows stronger. Fear fades because you are no longer lost in the future. You are grounded in the action of now. It is important to remember that courage inspires others. When you act with courage, people notice. They see your bravery, and it gives them permission to be brave too. Your courage creates a ripple effect. It encourages your family, your friends, and your co-workers. It builds respect and trust. People follow leaders who show courage under pressure. People believe in those who act even when it is hard. Your courage is not only for you. It is also for those who are watching you. Each act of courage becomes an example that others can lean on when fear shows up in their lives. Fear thrives in silence. When you keep your fears inside, they grow bigger. Talking about them with someone you trust can weaken them. Sharing your fears out loud helps you see them more clearly. Many times you realize that your fear is less realistic than you thought. Other people can also remind you of your strengths. They can encourage you to act with courage. Support does not remove fear, but it gives you strength to face it. Courage is easier when you know you are not alone. Surround yourself with people who push you forward, not people who feed your fear. Failure is often the biggest fear in tough situations. But failure is not the end. Failure is feedback. It teaches you what does not work. It gives you lessons that success cannot. Courage sees failure as part of the process. Fear sees failure as the end. If you choose fear, you avoid trying. If you choose courage, you try, you learn, and you grow. Over time, you realize that failure was never your enemy. Fear of failure was. Once you face it, failure loses its power. It becomes a teacher instead of a threat. And that shift gives you endless energy to keep going. Confidence and courage are connected. Each time you choose courage, you build confidence. And each time you build confidence, it becomes easier to choose courage again. This cycle strengthens you. Soon, challenges that once scared you become opportunities you welcome. You begin to look forward to tough situations because you know they are chances to grow. Fear still whispers, but courage speaks louder. And when courage is your habit, fear no longer controls your life. You take charge of your future with boldness and clarity. Fear may never disappear completely, but that is not the goal. The goal is to act with courage every time it appears. The goal is to train your mind to choose strength instead of weakness. The goal is to build a life where fear does not decide your actions. You decide. You decide to speak. You decide to try. You decide to move forward. And each time you decide with courage, you create a stronger version of yourself. You prove that fear cannot stop you. You prove that you can handle tough situations with bravery. And that proof becomes the foundation of a winning life. Chapter 9. Keep your vision strong when obstacles cloud your path. Every person who sets out to achieve something meaningful will face obstacles. At first, the vision feels clear. You are excited. You are motivated. You see the result in your mind and it feels close. But as time goes on, challenges arrive. The work becomes harder. The delays become longer. The people around you may doubt you. Failures may stack up. In those moments, your vision feels cloudy. You no longer see the end as clearly as you once did. You feel tired, and the temptation to quit grows stronger. This is where many people give up. They lose sight of the vision they started with. But the truth is, the difference between those who achieve and those who do not is the ability to keep their vision strong even when obstacles cloud the path. Your vision is more than a dream. It is your direction. It is the reason you wake up early, stay up late, and push forward when others stop. Without vision, effort feels empty. With vision, effort feels meaningful. But vision is fragile if not protected. It can be damaged by negativity. It can be blurred by distractions. It can be weakened by failure. That is why you must hold on to it with strength. You must remind yourself daily why you started. You must picture the outcome again and again until it becomes real in your mind. Because when the outside world grows dark, your inner vision must remain bright. It is the light that guides you through the storm. Obstacles are part of every journey. They are not signs that you are on the wrong path. They are signs that you are on a path worth taking. Easy paths do not lead to growth. Hard paths do. And when you face obstacles, you have a choice. You can let them blur your vision, or you can let them sharpen it. If you choose to see obstacles as lessons, your vision becomes stronger. You learn what to avoid. You learn what to adjust. You learn what to improve. Each obstacle then becomes part of your preparation. Each one makes your vision more realistic and powerful. The people who achieve are not those who never face obstacles. They are those who refuse to let obstacles steal their vision. When you feel discouraged, one powerful practice is to return to your why. Ask yourself, why did I begin this journey? Why does this matter to me? Why is this worth the struggle? When your why is strong, obstacles feel smaller. You no longer see them as permanent blocks. You see them as temporary challenges. Your why gives you energy to keep going when motivation fades. Your why gives you courage to face setbacks. Your why reminds you that the vision is worth it. And when your why is clear, your vision stays alive even when the path feels unclear. Another way to keep your vision strong is to write it down. Words on paper are powerful. They turn thoughts into something tangible. Write down what you want to achieve. Write down how it will feel when you achieve it. Write down the reasons it matters to you. When you face obstacles, return to those words. Read them slowly. Let them remind you of the picture you once saw so clearly. Written vision acts as an anchor. It holds you steady when the waves of doubt rise. It keeps you connected to the goal even when your emotions try to pull you away. And the more you revisit it, the more your vision stays strong. Visualization is also a tool that strengthens vision. Spend time each day closing your eyes and seeing the result. See yourself finishing the project. See yourself achieving the goal. See yourself standing in the place you dream of. Imagine the details. Feel the emotions. The clearer the picture in your mind, the harder it becomes to let go of it. Obstacles will still come, but they will not erase the image in your head. They will not erase the feeling in your heart. Visualization makes the vision real before it arrives, and that realness gives you strength to endure the obstacles on the way. It is also important to protect your vision from negativity. Not everyone will support you. Some will doubt you. Some will criticize you. Some will tell you that your vision is too big or unrealistic. If you let their words fill your mind, your vision will weaken. Protect it. Choose carefully who you share it with. Surround yourself with people who encourage you. Spend time with those who believe in growth. Protecting your environment is protecting your vision, because your vision grows in the soil of encouragement, not in the soil of doubt. Feed it with positivity, and it will remain strong. Discipline also plays a role in keeping your vision alive. When obstacles make you feel tired, discipline keeps you moving. Discipline says, take the step anyway. Do the work anyway. Stay consistent even when it feels pointless. Each act of discipline is a message to your vision. It says, I still believe in you. It says, I will not give up on you. And over time, discipline builds momentum. It turns small actions into big progress. It reminds you that obstacles may slow you down, but they cannot stop you. Discipline fuels vision, and vision fuels discipline. Together they create unstoppable progress. Perspective is another key. When obstacles appear, they often feel bigger than they are. They block your view of the future, but perspective helps you see beyond them. Ask yourself, how will this look in 5 years? Ask, is this obstacle final or is it just temporary? Most of the time, obstacles are temporary. They feel massive in the moment, but small in the bigger picture. Perspective shrinks obstacles. It reminds you that the vision is bigger than the problem. It keeps your focus forward. And when your focus is forward, your vision remains clear. Your vision also needs patience. Many people give up because results take longer than expected. They start with excitement, but when progress slows, they lose faith. Patience is the ability to stay committed even when the reward is delayed. Patience tells you that growth takes time. Patience reminds you that every step counts, even if you cannot see the finish line yet. When you practice patience, obstacles lose their power to discourage you. You see them as part of the timeline, not as the end of the timeline. Patience protects your vision from the frustration of delay. It keeps it strong while time does its work. Faith in yourself is another source of strength for vision. You must believe that you are capable of reaching the end. Obstacles will try to convince you otherwise. They will whisper that you are not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. If you listen, your vision fades. But if you choose to believe in yourself, your vision stays strong. Belief is not about knowing every step. It is about trusting that you can figure it out as you go. It is about knowing that you have the strength to grow along the way. Belief feeds vision and vision feeds belief. Together they create resilience. Another important practice is to measure progress, not just results. Obstacles make you feel like nothing is happening. But if you track small wins, you see that you are still moving forward. Write down what you complete each day. Notice the skills you are building. Notice the habits you are forming. Each small step is proof that your vision is still alive. Each one adds strength to your belief. Obstacles may slow results, but they cannot erase progress. And progress keeps your vision strong by reminding you that the journey is still moving. Obstacles also force you to adapt. Sometimes the path you planned is not the path that works. If you hold too tightly to one way, you may lose sight of the vision. But if you remain flexible, you can adjust without losing direction. The path may change, but the vision stays the same. Adaptation is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows that your commitment is to the vision, not to the method. And when you adapt, you keep moving. You stay aligned with the goal, even if the road looks different than you expected. Adaptation keeps your vision alive through every obstacle. Your vision must also be fueled by passion. Passion is the fire that makes obstacles feel smaller. Passion gives you energy when motivation is gone. Passion reminds you that the struggle is worth it. When your vision is connected to passion, it becomes unstoppable. Passion makes you resilient. Passion makes you creative. Passion keeps you going long after others have quit. If your vision feels weak, reconnect to your passion. Remind yourself of the deeper reason. Passion is the power that keeps your vision strong no matter what clouds the path. Lastly, your vision grows stronger when you celebrate milestones. Do not wait until the very end to celebrate. Celebrate progress along the way. Celebrate every obstacle you overcome. Celebrate every step forward. Celebration builds energy. It reminds you that the vision is alive. It makes the journey enjoyable. And when the journey feels rewarding, your vision grows stronger. Obstacles may still appear, but they no longer control your mindset. You stay focused. You stay motivated. You stay connected to the vision you started with. And that connection is what carries you through until you achieve it. Chapter 10. Protect your mind from negative voices and influences. Every day you are surrounded by voices. Some voices encourage you, some voices inspire you, and some voices try to tear you down. They come from the people around you, from the media you consume, and even from your own inner dialogue. If you do not guard your mind, those negative voices can slip in unnoticed. They can plant seeds of doubt, fear, and insecurity. Over time, those seeds grow into beliefs that weaken you. You start to question yourself. You start to lower your standards. You start to believe that your goals are out of reach. Protecting your mind is not optional. It is essential if you want to stay strong and keep moving forward, because your mind is the battlefield where victories are won or lost long before action takes place. Negative voices are powerful because they often sound reasonable. A co-worker says you are aiming too high. A family member tells you to be realistic. A friend reminds you of the times you failed. These voices may not come from hate. Sometimes they come from fear or their own limitations. But if you allow them to stay, they will begin to control how you see yourself. You will hesitate to dream big. You will doubt your abilities. You will stop before you even start. The truth is, most people speak from their own experience, not yours. They cannot see what you can see. They cannot feel what you feel. That is why you must protect your vision from their limits. Their limits do not need to become your limits. The most dangerous negative voice is the one inside your own head. That inner critic can be louder than anyone else. It tells you that you are not ready, not smart enough, not strong enough. It reminds you of past failures and warns you that they will repeat. This voice can be so constant that you begin to believe it. But you must remember that it is only a voice, not the truth. You can train your mind to answer back. When your inner critic says you cannot, you say I can learn. When it says you will fail, you say I will grow. When it says you are not enough, you say I am improving every day. Protecting your mind means challenging that inner voice until it loses its grip. One way to protect your mind is by choosing carefully who you spend time with. People are like environments. Some environments are clean and healthy, others are toxic. If you spend your time with people who complain, criticize, and discourage, their negativity will rub off on you. You will find yourself adopting their habits of thought. But if you surround yourself with people who believe in growth, encourage effort, and push you to be better, their positivity will lift you higher.
Guard your circle.
Protect your time. Spend it with people who make you stronger, not weaker. Because the people around you shape the voice inside you. Another important practice is controlling what you consume. Every book you read, every video you watch, every post you scroll through is food for your mind. If you constantly consume negativity, your thoughts will reflect that. You will become more fearful, more doubtful, more insecure. But if you feed your mind with stories of resilience, lessons of growth, and words of encouragement, your thoughts will reflect that too. Protect your mind like you protect your body. You would not eat spoiled food, so do not feed your mind with spoiled content. Choose wisely what you allow in, because it will shape what comes out. Protecting your mind also means setting boundaries. Sometimes negative influences come from people close to you. You may not be able to cut them out completely, but you can limit their influence. You can decide how much time you spend with them. You can decide which conversations you engage in. You can redirect topics that drain you. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about protecting your energy. They are about giving your mind the space it needs to grow strong. When you respect your own boundaries, others will learn to respect them too. Discipline is another tool for protecting your mind. Negativity often sneaks in when you are tired, distracted, or careless. Discipline keeps you focused. It reminds you of your goals. It keeps you consistent with positive habits. When you are disciplined, you are less vulnerable to outside noise. You are not easily swayed by opinions or setbacks. You stay steady on your path. Discipline builds a shield around your mind. It keeps distractions out and allows clarity to stay in. Without discipline, negativity finds cracks to enter. With discipline, your mind becomes a fortress. Gratitude is a powerful defense against negativity. When you focus on what you are thankful for, it is harder for negative voices to dominate. Gratitude shifts your attention from what is missing to what is present. It reminds you of the progress you have made. It reminds you of the strengths you already have. Gratitude does not mean ignoring challenges. It means refusing to let challenges blind you to the good. When you live with gratitude, you protect your mind from constant dissatisfaction. You create a habit of seeing value where others see only problems. That habit strengthens your perspective and shields you from negativity. Another way to protect your mind is through self-talk. Words have power. The words you say to yourself every day shape your beliefs. If you repeat negative words, they become reality. If you repeat positive words, they become reality too. Create affirmations that remind you of your strength. Say to yourself, I am capable. I am disciplined. I am improving. Say, I can handle challenges. I can create progress. I can learn what I need. These words act as armor. They protect you from the voices that say the opposite. Over time, your self-talk becomes your strongest ally. It becomes the voice that drowns out the negative ones. Obstacles will test the strength of your mind. When setbacks come, negative voices will grow louder. They will say, you should quit, you will never succeed, this is the end. In those moments, protecting your mind is more important than ever. You must remind yourself that setbacks are temporary. You must remind yourself that failure is feedback, not final. You must remind yourself that every obstacle is part of the process. If you let negative voices control you during setbacks, you will stop. But if you protect your mind with strong thoughts, you will keep moving. That persistence becomes your greatest weapon. Protecting your mind also means practicing patience. Negative voices often push for quick results. They tell you that if it does not happen fast, it will never happen. They create frustration and pressure. But patience reminds you that real growth takes time. Patience gives you peace while progress builds. Patience protects your mind from giving up too early. It tells you that slow steps are still steps forward. It reminds you that consistency wins over speed. When you are patient, you silence the voices that say you are failing just because results are delayed. You stay steady and your vision stays alive. Courage is another shield for your mind. Negative voices try to scare you into playing small. They say, do not take risks, do not step out, do not try. But courage says, I will move anyway. Courage weakens fear. Courage gives you the confidence to act despite doubt. Each act of courage strengthens your mind. It proves that negative voices cannot stop you. And once you prove that to yourself, the voices grow weaker. They lose their power because you have shown them through action that they were wrong. Courage is not only about big actions. It is about choosing bravery in small moments. And each choice builds protection for your mind. Rest and recovery are also important. When you are exhausted, negativity feels heavier. Small problems feel overwhelming. Doubts feel louder. Protect your mind by giving it rest. Sleep well. Take breaks. Spend time in nature. Allow silence. A rested mind can handle negativity better. It has the energy to resist doubt. It has the clarity to see through fear. Many people underestimate the role of rest in mental strength. But without it, you are more vulnerable to negative influence. Protect your mind by respecting your need for recovery. Learning and growth also protect your mind. The more knowledge you gain, the more confidence you build. Negative voices often target areas where you feel unprepared. They say you cannot because you do not know enough. But when you keep learning, those voices lose power. You can say, I may not know everything, but I am learning every day. Growth creates a shield because it reminds you that you are not stuck. You are evolving. You are becoming stronger. Each lesson you learn adds another layer of protection. Each skill you gain makes you less vulnerable to negativity. Finally, remember that protecting your mind is a lifelong practice. Negative voices will never disappear completely. They will always try to sneak in. But you can build habits that keep them from controlling you. You can build a mindset that filters what enters. You can build strength that resists what does not serve you. Protecting your mind is like guarding your most valuable treasure, because it is your mind that shapes your beliefs, your actions, and your destiny. When you protect it, you give yourself the power to rise above negativity and continue on the path to becoming your best self. Chapter 11. Develop patience to win battles that take time. One of the greatest struggles people face today is the need for quick results. We live in a world where everything feels instant. You can order food and get it within minutes. You can click a button and see endless information in seconds. You can connect with someone on the other side of the world instantly. This has created a habit of wanting everything fast. But the truth is, the most important battles in life do not happen quickly. Building a career takes years. Growing a business takes time. Creating strong relationships takes effort over many seasons. Developing discipline, skills, and wisdom takes consistency. If you want to win in these areas, you must develop patience. Without patience, you give up too early. With patience, you stay long enough to see results. Impatience destroys progress because it makes you abandon the process before it has time to work. You go to the gym for 1 week, and when you do not see results, you quit. You start a new project, and when it does not succeed immediately, you stop. You try to learn a new skill, and when it feels difficult, you tell yourself you are not talented. This is how impatience steals from people. It makes them blind to the fact that growth always requires time. Nothing worthwhile is built overnight. Every success story is built on patience. Every strong person is shaped by years of waiting, working, and staying consistent when others gave up. Patience does not mean doing nothing. It means doing the right things consistently while allowing time to do its work. It means showing up each day even when progress is invisible. It means trusting that small actions will add up to big results if you do not quit. Patience is active. It is discipline in motion. It is persistence with faith in the process. Many people misunderstand patience as waiting passively, but real patience is strength. It is the decision to keep moving forward, no matter how slow, no matter how long. And this strength is what wins the battles that take years to finish. When you practice patience, you build resilience. Impatience makes you fragile. You expect quick rewards, and when they do not come, you feel defeated. Patience makes you tough. You expect challenges and you prepare for them. You understand that obstacles are part of the journey. You are not shaken by delay because you know delay is not denial. Each time you practice patience, you strengthen your character. You build the ability to handle frustration. You build the ability to stay calm when things do not go as planned. These abilities are priceless. They separate those who quit from those who win. One of the greatest benefits of patience is clarity. When you rush, your mind is clouded. You make poor decisions because you are desperate for quick solutions. But when you are patient, you give yourself space to think. You weigh options carefully. You plan for the long term. You do not trade future success for temporary relief. This clarity protects you from mistakes. It keeps you aligned with your vision. It ensures that your actions are wise, not impulsive. Patience gives you the power to think clearly under pressure and choose what truly matters. Patience also builds trust in yourself. Every time you stay consistent without seeing immediate results, you prove to yourself that you can stay committed. That proof strengthens your belief. You begin to trust your own persistence. You begin to trust your own discipline. And this trust becomes confidence. Confidence built on patience is stronger than confidence built on luck. Because you know you earned it. You know you endured. You know you stayed when others left. That knowledge gives you unshakable faith in your own ability to handle whatever comes next. In relationships, patience is essential. People are complex. Trust takes time to build. Love takes time to grow. Forgiveness takes time to heal. Without patience, relationships break easily. You expect perfection too soon. You give up when conflict arises. But with patience, you give space for growth. You allow people to learn, to improve, to change. You invest time and effort to strengthen the bond. This patience builds lasting connections. It makes you dependable. It makes you someone others can count on. And in return, you experience relationships that are deep and fulfilling, not shallow and temporary. In personal growth, patience is the foundation. You cannot transform yourself overnight. Change happens slowly. Habits are built step by step. Skills are mastered hour by hour. Wisdom is gained experience by experience. If you expect quick transformation, you will be disappointed. But if you stay patient, you will see the results. One day you will look back and realize how far you have come. You will notice the strength you built, the knowledge you gained, the habits you developed. All of it was the result of patience. Without it, you would still be at the starting line. Patience also helps you appreciate the journey. When you are impatient, you focus only on the destination. You miss the lessons along the way. You miss the small victories. You miss the beauty of growth. But when you are patient, you notice these things. You celebrate small wins. You learn from setbacks. You enjoy the process of becoming better. This makes the journey fulfilling. It gives meaning to every step. And when the destination finally comes, it feels even more rewarding because you valued the process that led you there. Many people quit because they confuse speed with success. They think the fastest path is the best path. But real success is not about speed. It is about direction. It is about consistency. It is about staying on the path long enough to reach the end. Patience allows you to stay focused on direction rather than speed. It reminds you that slow progress is still progress. It tells you that steady steps lead to strong results. Patience does not compare your journey to others. It keeps you focused on your own path. It keeps you grounded in your own timeline. Patience also protects you from discouragement. When obstacles appear, impatience says this is the end. Patience says this is just a step. When results are delayed, impatience says nothing is working. Patience says progress is happening in ways I cannot see yet. This mindset gives you strength during tough times. It keeps you motivated when things look impossible. It prevents you from giving up on something that is still growing. Many successes are lost not because the goal was impossible, but because impatience ended the effort too soon. Patience ensures you stay until the goal has time to grow. One practical way to develop patience is to focus on small steps. Do not obsess over how far you still have to go. Focus on what you can do today. Ask yourself, what action can I take right now to move forward? Celebrate each step. Each one matters. Each one builds momentum. Over time, these steps add up to big results. When you see progress in small steps, patience becomes easier. You realize that even slow progress is worth celebrating. You realize that time is not your enemy. Time is your partner when you stay consistent. Another practice is to reframe delays as preparation. When something takes longer than expected, impatience says, this is wasted time. Patience says, this is time to prepare. Use delays to improve your skills. Use them to strengthen your mindset. Use them to build new habits. This way, when the opportunity comes, you are ready. Many people miss opportunities because they are unprepared. Patience ensures that you use the waiting period wisely. It turns waiting into growth. It turns delay into preparation, and preparation creates greater success when the time is right. Patience also creates emotional balance. Impatience makes you stressed, anxious, and frustrated. It robs you of peace. But patience creates calmness. It reminds you that not everything needs to be rushed. It allows you to enjoy the present while working toward the future. This calmness improves your health. It reduces stress. It makes your mind clearer. It allows you to make better decisions. Emotional balance is one of the greatest rewards of patience. It gives you the strength to keep moving without burning out. Finally, patience develops character. It teaches you humility because you cannot control everything. It teaches you discipline because you must stay consistent. It teaches you endurance because you must stay committed through challenges. These qualities shape who you are. They make you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. They prepare you for greater responsibilities. They make you someone who can be trusted with success. Because success without patience is fragile, but success built on patience lasts. It is solid, it is strong, and it is worth every moment of waiting. Chapter 12. Practice gratitude to train your mind for abundance. It is easy to wake up in the morning and think about what is missing. You think about the money you do not yet have, the opportunities you wish you had, the progress you feel you should have made by now. These thoughts can weigh you down before the day even begins. Many people live their lives with this mindset. They focus on scarcity and their minds are always filled with a sense of lack. When you think this way, your energy feels low, your decisions are clouded, and your spirit feels heavy. But there is a different way to live. It starts with gratitude. Gratitude is the ability to notice what is already present in your life. It is the habit of paying attention to what is working instead of only seeing what is missing. When you practice gratitude daily, you train your mind to focus on abundance rather than lack. And a mind trained for abundance becomes powerful, resourceful, and optimistic in every situation. Gratitude is not about ignoring problems. It is about shifting your focus. Everyone has struggles. Everyone has obstacles. Gratitude does not deny them. Gratitude simply reminds you that your struggles are not the full story. You may have challenges at work, but you also have skills and opportunities that others would love to have. You may face financial stress, but you also have the ability to learn, to grow, and to create new solutions. Gratitude balances your view. It stops you from drowning in negativity by reminding you of the good that still exists. That balance is what keeps your mind strong. It gives you the energy to keep moving forward when life feels difficult. When you practice gratitude, your emotions begin to change. Anger and frustration lose their grip. Stress becomes lighter. Fear begins to fade. Gratitude creates calmness and peace in your heart. It gives you hope in the middle of difficulty. It creates joy even in small things. Something as simple as appreciating a meal, a conversation, or a moment of quiet can fill your mind with positive energy. This energy influences the way you speak, the way you work, and the way you connect with others. People notice when you carry gratitude. They feel more comfortable around you. They are more willing to support you. Gratitude not only changes your inner world, it also changes the way the outer world responds to you. One of the most powerful effects of gratitude is the way it rewires your thoughts. Your mind is shaped by repetition. If you constantly repeat thoughts of lack, your mind becomes trained to look for what is wrong. You develop a habit of complaint. But if you repeat thoughts of gratitude, your mind becomes trained to look for what is right. You develop a habit of appreciation, and habits shape character. Over time, a grateful person naturally becomes optimistic, hopeful, and resilient. They do not have to force it. It becomes who they are. This is why gratitude is not a one-time practice. It is a daily exercise that slowly trains your mind to see abundance everywhere. Gratitude also helps you see opportunities. When your focus is always on what you lack, you miss chances that are right in front of you. You say to yourself, I cannot start because I do not have enough. You say, I cannot try because I am missing resources. But gratitude shows you what you already have. It shows you the skills, the experiences, and the relationships that are available. When you focus on what is present, you begin to see possibilities you ignored before. You realize that you already have enough to take the next step. That awareness is what moves you forward. Gratitude opens your eyes, and with open eyes, you see abundance instead of limitation. Gratitude strengthens resilience in hard times. When setbacks come, the natural reaction is to complain. You say, why me? Why now? Why this? Those thoughts drain your energy. But when you choose gratitude, you respond differently. You say, this is hard, but I am thankful for the lesson. You say, this hurts, but I am thankful for the strength I am building. You say, I did not expect this, but I am thankful that I still have the ability to continue. Gratitude does not erase pain, but it gives you perspective. It reminds you that even in difficulty, there is something to value. That perspective helps you keep moving when others stop. Another benefit of gratitude is the way it improves relationships. People want to feel valued. They want to feel appreciated. Gratitude gives them that. When you thank someone for their effort, they feel respected. When you acknowledge someone's presence, they feel important. When you express appreciation for support, they feel connected. Gratitude builds trust. It strengthens bonds. It creates goodwill. In families, in friendships, and in workplaces, gratitude is the key that creates harmony. Without it, relationships weaken. With it, relationships thrive. And strong relationships are part of living with abundance. Because no one wins alone. We rise with the people who support us. Patience and gratitude work hand in hand. Gratitude allows you to enjoy the journey while waiting for the destination. Without gratitude, the waiting feels painful. You focus only on what you do not yet have. But with gratitude, the waiting feels meaningful. You see growth happening. You notice small progress. You celebrate small victories. Gratitude gives you the strength to stay committed because it reminds you that progress is not only in the end result. Progress is also in every step you take along the way. This mindset helps you win battles that require time and persistence. A grateful mind also improves health. Studies show that people who practice gratitude have lower stress, better sleep, and stronger immune systems. But even without studies, you can feel it in your body. When you complain, your body feels tense. When you focus on problems, your chest feels heavy. But when you practice gratitude, your body relaxes. You breathe deeper. Your energy feels lighter. You carry yourself with more strength. Gratitude does not just change your thoughts. It changes your physical state. And a healthy body supports a strong mind. Together they create a foundation for abundance. Gratitude is also a powerful tool against comparison. Many people feel unhappy because they constantly compare themselves to others. They see what others have and feel small. They measure their worth against someone else's progress. But gratitude shifts the focus back to your own life. It says, I appreciate what I have. I value my journey. I respect my progress. Gratitude reminds you that your life has unique gifts that cannot be measured against anyone else. It removes the poison of envy and replaces it with peace. And when you live without constant comparison, your mind feels free. You stop chasing someone else's abundance and start building your own. Practical gratitude can be simple. You can keep a journal and write 3 things you are thankful for each day. You can say thank you to people who impact your life. You can pause in the middle of a stressful day and notice something small that is good. These small actions build the habit. They remind your mind to look for abundance. The practice may feel simple, but the effects are powerful. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Gratitude slowly shifts your thinking until abundance is your natural perspective. And when abundance is your perspective, opportunities flow toward you because your mind is always open to receive them. Gratitude also influences the way you handle success. Some people achieve their goals and still feel empty. They reach the destination but do not feel fulfilled. That is because they never practiced gratitude along the way. Success without gratitude feels shallow. But when you practice gratitude, success feels rich. You appreciate the effort, the people, and the experiences that made it possible. You enjoy the results more fully, and you continue to feel abundant even after the achievement. Gratitude ensures that success is not just about reaching the top, but about appreciating the entire journey. Another important lesson is that gratitude must be chosen intentionally. Negative voices will always exist. Problems will always arise. You will always have reasons to complain. Gratitude is not automatic. It is a choice. Each day you must choose to notice what is working. You must choose to give thanks. You must choose to focus on abundance. At first it may feel forced, but over time it becomes natural. It becomes part of who you are. Gratitude becomes your lens, and through that lens the world looks brighter, kinder, and more abundant. Finally, gratitude connects you to possibility. When you appreciate what you have, you attract more. Not because the world magically changes, but because your perspective changes. A grateful person sees chances others ignore. A grateful person uses resources others overlook. A grateful person moves forward with confidence, knowing that abundance is already present. Gratitude builds faith in tomorrow by appreciating today. And that is how the mind learns abundance. It stops focusing on what is missing and starts celebrating what is here. And from that celebration grows strength, resilience, and endless opportunity. Chapter 13. Build confidence by taking small victories every day. Confidence is not something you wake up with one morning. It is not a gift someone can hand to you. It is not a sudden feeling that comes and stays forever. Confidence is built through experience. It is built through action. It is built by proving to yourself again and again that you are capable. The mistake many people make is waiting for a big breakthrough to feel confident. They wait for a major success, a big promotion, or a perfect achievement before they allow themselves to believe. But confidence does not grow from one huge moment. It grows from small victories stacked day after day. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you complete a task, every time you step forward even a little, you build confidence brick by brick. Think about the times when you felt most insecure. Often those feelings came from a lack of action. You told yourself you would do something, but you did not. You set a goal, but you abandoned it. You made a promise, but you broke it. Each time that happens, you weaken your trust in yourself. And when you do not trust yourself, confidence cannot grow. But the opposite is also true. When you take action, even small action, you strengthen trust. You say to yourself, I follow through. You say, I can count on me. That trust is the foundation of confidence. It does not come from words. It comes from action. It comes from small victories that remind you of your own reliability. Small victories matter because they are within your control. You may not control when the big opportunity arrives. You may not control how others respond to you. But you do control your daily habits. You do control whether you wake up on time, whether you finish what you start, whether you give effort when no one is watching. Each time you win in these small areas, you create momentum. You begin to feel stronger. You begin to believe in yourself. Confidence is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about stacking enough small wins until you can no longer deny your own ability to grow. Consider the power of finishing simple tasks. Something as basic as organizing your space, completing a workout, or writing down your goals creates a sense of accomplishment. These may seem small, but they signal to your mind that you are capable of finishing. Finishing is powerful. Many people start but never finish. When you finish, you separate yourself. You prove to yourself that you can follow through, and that proof builds confidence. The more you finish, the more your mind begins to expect success. It starts to say, I complete things. I achieve. I follow through. That expectation is the root of confidence. Confidence also grows when you push slightly beyond your comfort zone. You do not need to take massive risks every day. But if you do something small that scares you, you begin to expand your limits. Maybe you speak up when you normally stay silent. Maybe you try something new even if you are unsure. Maybe you ask a question instead of staying quiet. Each of these is a small victory. Each one says, I can handle more than I thought. Over time, these small acts of courage build into a stronger version of yourself. You no longer see fear as a wall. You see it as a challenge you can overcome. And that mindset is the heart of confidence. One reason small victories are so important is that they create consistency. Confidence is not built in one day. It is built in repeated actions. When you keep showing up daily, your confidence grows naturally. You stop needing motivation to act. Action itself becomes the source of confidence. Each day you add another layer. Each day you grow stronger. This consistency builds deep trust. It tells your mind, I do not quit. I do not stop. I may be slow, but I am steady. And steady effort wins battles that speed alone cannot. Confidence built this way is not fragile. It does not disappear when one failure comes. It stays because it is rooted in a pattern of victories. Failures and mistakes also play a role in confidence. Many people believe failure destroys confidence, but that is only true if you stop. If you keep going, every failure turns into a lesson. Each time you learn, you gain a new skill. Each time you recover, you gain new strength. And each recovery is a victory. Even small recoveries matter. Maybe you failed yesterday, but today you try again. That is a victory. Maybe you made a mistake, but you corrected it. That is a victory. Confidence does not come from never failing. It comes from refusing to let failure end your journey. Every comeback, no matter how small, adds to your confidence. Gratitude connects to confidence as well. When you notice your small victories, you begin to appreciate your own effort. You stop dismissing progress just because it is not huge. You say, I am thankful I completed this step. I am thankful I showed up. I am thankful I moved forward today. That gratitude reinforces confidence. It tells your mind that progress is valuable, no matter the size. And when you see value in small victories, you stay motivated to keep building them. Gratitude ensures that your confidence grows steadily instead of waiting for something massive to validate you. Confidence is also strengthened by preparation. When you prepare, you feel ready. When you practice, you reduce fear. Preparation itself is a small victory. Each time you rehearse, study, or plan, you prove to yourself that you are investing in your success. That proof builds confidence. When the real challenge arrives, you stand taller because you know you did the work. Preparation makes you feel deserving. It makes you feel capable. And those feelings fuel confidence. People who skip preparation often rely on luck, and luck is not confidence. But people who prepare know they have earned the right to succeed, and that belief is powerful. Another aspect of confidence is self-talk. The words you speak to yourself daily shape how you feel. If you constantly say, "I am not good enough," your confidence weakens. If you say, "I can handle this," your confidence strengthens. Every time you replace doubt with encouragement, you create a small victory. You win against the negative voice. You choose to guide your mind instead of letting it guide you. Over time, this self-talk builds belief. It creates a voice of support inside you that pushes you forward. That voice becomes your partner in every challenge. And when your inner voice is strong, your confidence is unshakable. Confidence is contagious. When you build it through small victories, others can see it. People notice the way you carry yourself. They notice the way you speak. They notice the way you handle situations, and their response reinforces your confidence. They trust you more. They respect you more. They follow your lead. This creates new opportunities, which create more victories, which create more confidence. It is a cycle that begins with small steps. One small victory can open a door that leads to many more, and each door strengthens the foundation you are building. Patience is required when building confidence. You cannot expect to feel unstoppable in 1 week. Confidence grows slowly, just like a plant. You water it daily with small victories. You protect it with discipline. You nurture it with persistence. And over time it grows strong. Impatience makes people give up before the results appear, but patience ensures that you stay long enough to see growth. Each day is part of the process. Each victory is part of the story. Confidence is not about reaching a final destination. It is about becoming someone who trusts themselves more every single day. Comparison is a trap that kills confidence. If you measure your progress against someone else's, you will always find reasons to feel small. But if you measure against your own yesterday, you will always find reasons to grow. Did you improve today? Did you act today? Did you try today? If the answer is yes, then you won. That is a victory. These victories are personal. They belong to you alone. They cannot be taken away because they are based on your effort, not on someone else's standard. Protect your confidence by focusing on your journey. Let your small victories be enough to remind you of your progress. Consistency in health also contributes to confidence. Taking care of your body through small actions builds strength in your mind. Drinking more water, moving daily, resting well, these are victories. They may seem small, but they create energy, and energy feeds confidence. When your body feels strong, your mind feels strong. When your health improves, your confidence improves. Each choice to take care of yourself is a victory. Each one proves that you respect yourself enough to invest in your well-being. That respect creates dignity, and dignity is a deep form of confidence. Every small victory is proof that you are moving. Confidence comes from evidence. It is not just positive thinking. It is positive action backed by proof. Each action is a piece of evidence. Each completed step says, "I am capable." Each small victory becomes a witness that testifies to your ability. Over time, the evidence becomes undeniable. You stop doubting because the proof is everywhere. Your confidence is no longer a fragile feeling. It is a solid belief built on action. And belief built on action cannot be easily broken. It stays with you in every season. It carries you through every challenge. It guides you toward every success. Chapter 14. Learn from failure and let wisdom guide your steps. Failure is something that every person experiences, yet it is the one thing most people fear the most. You can prepare, you can plan, you can give your best effort, and still you will face failure at some point. It comes in many forms. You may lose a job you thought was secure. You may watch a business idea collapse. You may invest time and energy into a relationship that ends painfully. Failure feels heavy because it shakes your confidence and forces you to question yourself. But failure is not the end. Failure is a teacher. It gives lessons that success will never provide. The problem is not that failure exists. The problem is that many people refuse to learn from it. They either run from it or let it crush them. But those who rise above failure are the ones who pause, learn, and turn mistakes into wisdom. When failure first arrives, the emotions are strong. You may feel embarrassed, angry, or discouraged. These feelings are natural. They remind you that you care about the outcome. But if you stop at the level of emotions, failure will blind you. You will only see pain and not the lesson. That is why you must step back. Take time to reflect. Ask yourself what happened, why it happened, and what it is trying to teach you. This reflection turns failure into wisdom. Without reflection, failure is wasted. With reflection, failure becomes preparation. You cannot change what happened, but you can use it to shape what happens next. One of the greatest lessons failure gives is humility. Success can make you think you know it all. It can make you believe you cannot be wrong. Failure reminds you that you are human, that you still have more to learn, that there is always room for growth. This humility keeps you grounded. It keeps you open to feedback. It keeps you hungry for improvement. Without humility, you stop learning. With humility, you use every experience as a stepping stone. Failure humbles you, and humility makes you wiser. Failure also teaches resilience. When you fall and rise again, you become stronger. At first it feels painful to get up, but each time you do, your endurance grows. You learn that falling is not the end. You learn that pain is not permanent. You learn that one mistake does not define your life. This resilience becomes part of your character. It gives you confidence to face the future. You no longer fear failure because you know you can survive it. And once you stop fearing failure, you act with more courage. You take chances others avoid. You grow faster because you are not held back by fear. Resilience is the gift of failure if you choose to rise again. Failure also shows you what does not work. Many people waste time repeating the same actions, hoping for different results. Failure stops you in your tracks and says, "Pay attention." It highlights your blind spots. It reveals your weaknesses. It exposes the flaws in your strategy. This information is valuable. It saves you from repeating costly mistakes. It points you toward better paths. Success rarely makes you stop and analyze. Failure forces you to. And in that analysis, wisdom is born. Every failure is a map. It shows you where not to go and where to adjust. If you learn from it, it guides you closer to success. Another gift of failure is perspective. When you fail, you realize that life is bigger than one mistake. You realize that losing once does not mean losing forever. You realize that setbacks are part of growth. Perspective reminds you that failure is temporary, but lessons are permanent. It helps you see that the path to success is not straight. It is filled with detours, delays, and struggles. This perspective gives you patience. It calms your frustration. It reminds you to keep going. Without perspective, failure feels final. With perspective, failure feels like part of the process. Failure also makes you more compassionate. When you struggle, you understand the struggles of others better. You stop judging so quickly. You listen more carefully. You encourage more sincerely. Failure softens you in ways that success cannot. It teaches you empathy. And empathy makes you a better leader, a better friend, and a better human being. People trust those who have walked through failure and grown from it. They know your wisdom is real because it has been tested. This trust opens doors and builds stronger relationships. Compassion born from failure becomes a quiet strength that guides your interactions with others. When you fail, you also learn about responsibility. It is easy to blame others for your mistakes. You can say the system was unfair, the timing was bad, or the people around you were not supportive. But blame keeps you powerless. Responsibility gives you power. When you say, "I played a role in this," you also say, "I can play a role in fixing it." Responsibility allows you to grow. It shifts your focus from excuses to solutions. And once you take responsibility, failure becomes a tool rather than a trap. You use it to build instead of letting it break you. Failure also trains your patience. When things do not go as planned, you must start again. You must wait longer. You must keep working when results are delayed. This process builds patience. It teaches you to value the journey rather than rushing to the destination. Patience makes you steady. It prevents you from giving up too early. It keeps you focused even when progress is slow. Many people lose because they cannot endure the waiting. But patience, shaped by failure, gives you the endurance to stay until success arrives. Another important lesson from failure is creativity. When your first plan fails, you are forced to think of another. When your strategy breaks down, you must invent a new one. This process sparks innovation. It pushes you to explore ideas you would not have considered otherwise. Many great inventions and breakthroughs were born after failure. People tried, failed, and adjusted until something remarkable emerged. Failure forces you to adapt, and adaptation is one of the greatest signs of wisdom. It shows that you are flexible, resourceful, and willing to grow. Failure also sharpens your vision. At first, you may chase goals that are vague or shallow, but failure makes you question why you want something. It makes you refine your purpose. It makes you focus on what truly matters. This clarity strengthens your direction. It prevents you from wasting energy on distractions. It aligns your actions with your values. Without failure, you might continue chasing empty goals. With failure, you are forced to dig deeper. You discover what is worth the struggle. That discovery becomes the compass that guides your future steps. Wisdom from failure is only gained if you reflect. Many people repeat the same mistakes because they never stop to analyze. They move on too quickly, or they hide from the pain. But if you take the time to write down what happened, to ask hard questions, and to seek feedback, you turn failure into a teacher. Reflection transforms pain into progress. It makes the experience valuable. It ensures that you do not waste the cost of failure. Because failure is costly. It costs time, effort, and sometimes pride. But if you learn from it, the cost becomes an investment. It pays you back in wisdom that guides your next step. Failure also builds courage. Once you fail and survive, you realize it is not as deadly as you imagined. You realize that you can try again. This realization gives you freedom. It makes you less afraid of trying new things. It gives you boldness to take risks. Courage grows every time you fail and keep moving. And courage is necessary for success. Without it, you stay stuck in safe places. With it, you explore, experiment, and discover. Courage fueled by failure is one of the most powerful tools you can carry. Finally, failure makes success meaningful. If everything came easily, you would not value it. But when you fail, when you struggle, when you fall and rise again, success tastes sweeter. It feels richer because you know the cost. You know the lessons behind it. You know the strength it took. Success without failure is shallow. Success after failure is deep. It builds character. It builds gratitude. It builds wisdom. And wisdom is the greatest guide for your future steps. It keeps you steady. It keeps you humble. It keeps you focused. Wisdom shaped by failure is the foundation of a life built on growth, resilience, and true success. Chapter 15. Live each day with purpose and unstoppable belief. Most people wake up each morning and let the day carry them wherever it wants. They move from one task to another without direction. They react to circumstances instead of creating them. They let their energy be shaped by the opinions of others and by whatever problem happens to arrive. At the end of the day, they feel tired but not fulfilled. They feel busy but not productive. They feel like time slipped away without meaning. This is the reality for many. The difference between those who drift through life and those who live with impact is purpose. Purpose is the reason behind your actions. It gives meaning to your work, to your struggles, and to your victories. And when you combine purpose with unstoppable belief, you create a force inside you that cannot be shaken. Living with purpose means knowing why you are doing what you do. It means you wake up with clarity instead of confusion. You do not just go to work to pass time. You go because you see the role it plays in building your future. You do not just face challenges for the sake of suffering. You face them because they are shaping your strength. Purpose turns ordinary days into meaningful days. It turns effort into progress. Without purpose, the days blur together. With purpose, every day counts. Purpose is what gives direction to your life and helps you move with confidence, even in uncertain times. Belief is what fuels your purpose. You can know your purpose, but if you do not believe in yourself, you will not act on it. Belief is the voice inside that says, I can handle this, I can grow through this, I can achieve this. Without belief, purpose remains an idea. With belief, purpose becomes action. Many people fail not because they lack purpose, but because they lack belief. They doubt themselves. They listen to fear. They let setbacks convince them to stop. But belief makes you unstoppable. It gives you energy to try again after failure. It gives you courage to face resistance. It gives you confidence to step forward when the path is unclear. The combination of purpose and belief creates momentum. Purpose tells you where to go, and belief tells you that you can get there. When you live each day with both, you stop wasting time. You stop hesitating. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You move. You act. You create. And every step builds more confidence. People who live this way are the ones who inspire others. They carry energy that cannot be ignored. You can feel their direction. You can see their determination. They are not wandering. They are not doubting. They are living with purpose and belief every single day. Living with purpose also protects you from distractions. The world is full of noise. There are endless opportunities, endless problems, endless opinions. Without purpose, you chase everything and achieve nothing. With purpose, you filter. You know what matters and what does not. You know what deserves your energy and what does not. This focus keeps you steady. It keeps you from burning out. It ensures that your time is spent on what brings meaning. And belief gives you the strength to stick with it even when distractions look tempting. Together they keep you moving on the right path. Purpose also turns challenges into fuel. Without purpose, a problem feels like a wall. With purpose, a problem feels like a test. You know why you are enduring it, so you endure with strength. You know it is connected to something greater, so you do not give up. Belief adds to this by reminding you that you have what it takes to get through. It tells you that no obstacle is final unless you let it be. This mindset turns setbacks into lessons and delays into preparation. Instead of quitting, you grow. Instead of breaking, you build. Purpose and belief give meaning to pain and transform it into power. To live each day with purpose, you must begin with clarity. Take time to define what matters most to you. Write down what you want your life to stand for. Ask yourself why you want success, why you want growth, why you want change. These answers are your foundation. They are your purpose. Without them, you will drift. With them, you will have direction. And once you have clarity, remind yourself of it daily. Read it in the morning. Reflect on it at night. Keep it in front of you so that every day is guided by it. Clarity is the fuel that keeps purpose alive. To build unstoppable belief, you must collect evidence. Confidence is not built only by positive words. It is built by action. Every small victory becomes proof. Every task you complete, every challenge you overcome, every step you take builds belief. Keep track of these. Notice them. Celebrate them. The more evidence you gather, the stronger your belief becomes. Soon, doubt will feel weaker because the proof is everywhere. You will look back at all the times you succeeded and say, I can handle this too. That is how belief becomes unstoppable. It is not blind hope. It is trust built on evidence. Living with purpose also requires discipline. You cannot live with meaning if you only act when you feel like it. Discipline ensures that your actions align with your purpose even on hard days. It keeps you consistent. It keeps you committed. Discipline is what transforms purpose from a dream into a reality. And when you combine discipline with belief, you become unstoppable. You no longer wait for motivation. You act because you know why it matters and you believe you can do it. That is the strength that carries you through every season. Another important part of living with purpose is service. Purpose is not just about you. It is also about the impact you have on others. When you live with purpose, your actions lift people around you. Your words encourage them. Your example inspires them. This creates a ripple effect. Belief makes this possible because it gives you the courage to step out and influence others. It gives you the confidence to lead, to share, to give. Living for more than yourself fills your life with deeper meaning. It reminds you that every day is an opportunity to add value to the world. Living with unstoppable belief also means guarding your mind. Doubt will always try to enter. Negative voices will always try to influence you. But you must protect your belief. Surround yourself with people who encourage you. Feed your mind with knowledge that strengthens you. Remove influences that weaken you. Protecting your belief is protecting your future. Because once you lose belief, purpose loses its power. But when belief is strong, no challenge can take your purpose away. You carry it like armor. It shields you from fear and fills you with strength. Living with purpose also creates joy. Even when life is difficult, you feel fulfilled because you know you are on the right path. Joy does not come only from results. It comes from alignment. When your actions match your purpose, you feel whole. You feel alive. You no longer live for approval or applause. You live for meaning. And that joy is unshakable because it is not dependent on outside conditions. It comes from within. It comes from living in alignment with who you are and what you believe. That is the kind of joy that no failure, no rejection, and no delay can destroy. Finally, living each day with purpose and unstoppable belief requires awareness of time. Every day is a gift. Every day is an opportunity. You cannot waste it waiting for tomorrow. You cannot put off your purpose until later. Later may not come. Live with urgency, not in panic, but in awareness. Each day matters. Each choice matters. Each action matters. When you live this way, you stop drifting. You start directing. You take charge of your life. You build strength, you build confidence, and you build meaning. Purpose gives you the why. Belief gives you the how. Together, they give you the power to live each day fully and to face every challenge with unshakable strength.